Welcome students to class 7th. Today we'll start with our new chapter of history, the Delhi Sultans. So in this chapter we'll be understanding about the Delhi Sultans. Delhi first became the capital of a kingdom under the Tomras Rajputs, who were defeated by Chauhans. Let's first read the text. In chapter 2, we saw that regions like the Kaveri Delta became the center of large kingdoms. Did you notice that there was no mention of a kingdom with Delhi as its capital? That was because Delhi became an important city only in the 12th century. So before we never heard about the kingdoms or any capital as Delhi as a capital. The reason was it became the important city only in the 12th century. Take a look at table 1. Delhi first became the capital of the kingdom under the Tomara Rajputs, who were defeated in the middle of the 12th century by the Chauhans. Also refers to as Chahmanas. I already explained you that Chauhans were earlier known as Chahmanas. Now they known as Chauhans of Ajmer. So, Delhi first became the capital of the kingdom under the Tomara Rajputs, who were defeated by Chauhans of Ajmer. It was under the Tomaras and Chauhans that Delhi became an important commercial center. Many rich Jaina merchants lived in the city and constructed several temples. Coins minted here called Daliwal had a wide circulation. So, as due to the kingdom under the Tomara Rajputs and their conflicts between them, Delhi became the capital of kingdom and it's come into an important commercial center. So, what happened then? Many rich Jaina merchants lived here and constructed several temples, and it also the coins also minted here, which were called Dahliwal. The transformation of Delhi into a capital that controlled vast area of the subcontinent started with the foundation of the Delhi Sultana in the beginning of the 13th century. So what happened? The transformation of Delhi into a capital that control a vast area of subcontinent started with the foundation of Delhi Sultan at the beginning of 13th century. Table 1 again. Look at the table 1 again and identify the 5 dynasties that together made the Delhi Sultana. The Delhi Sultans built many cities in the area that we now know as Delhi. Look at map 1 and locate Delhi, Kulna, Shri and Jahanpana. You can look at the map. Okay, that is Delhi, Kunha and Jahanpana and Siri. These are the areas that were built by the Delhi Sultans. This is the table 1 which is mentioned in this paragraph. Take a look at table 1 again and identify the 5 dynasties. So which are the 5 dynasties? They are Tomaras, Chauhans, Slav dynasty, Khilji dynasty, Tughlaqs dynasty, Sayyid dynasty, Lodi dynasties. These are the rulers of Delhi. So Rajput dynasties belongs Tomras and Chauhans. Then early Turkish rulers are, the name are mentioned here. Then Khalji dynasty, Tughlaq dynasty, Sayyid dynasty and Lodi dynasties. These are the dynasties. These are the rulers of Delhi. So first one was the Tomars, which were in early 20th century during 1165, and in Chauhans they were from 1165 to 1192. That was the period of Prithviraj Chauhan. And next son is given, which is under the Tomras and Chauhans, and Delhi became an important commercial center also during this period. The next one is You can look at the map, you can understand it. It is given a very clear description. Then about Khilji dynasties, it is external frontier was the next phase of expansion, which started with Alauddin Khilji in South India. He was the most important ruler of Khilji dynasty. You must remember the name of this Alauddin Khilji. Finding out about the Delhi Sultans. Although inscriptions, coins and architecture provide a lot of information, especially valuable are histories, Twarikh written in Persian, the language of administration under the Delhi Sultans. The authors of Twarikh were learned men, secretaries, administrators, poets and courtiers who both recounted events and advised rulers on governance, emphasizing the importance of just rule. So inscription, coins and architectures provides a lot of information to the archaeologist. Further valuable sources as histories, we can say in singular Tariq and in plural Twarikh, written in Persian, the language of administration under the Delhi Sultan. What was the language? That was Persian. The author of Twarikh were learned men. They were the very learned, means they have a very great knowledge about that particular thing, and they the secretaries, administrators, poets and courtiers, they recounted events and advised ruler for the governance and rules regarding any important decision. All this is done by the Twarikh, who are the learned men. The circle of justice. Farik-i-Mudawwir wrote in the 13th century, a king cannot survive without soldiers, and soldiers cannot live without salaries. Salaries come from the revenue collected from peasants, but peasants can pay revenue only when they are prosperous and happy. This happens when the king promotes justice and honest government. So what was the circle of justice, which was written in the 13th century by Fakhr-i-Mudawwir, that a king cannot survive without the soldiers, and soldiers cannot survive without salaries. Only they can survive if they are having a salary. And where from the salary came? The salary came from the revenue, the taxes they collect from the peasants. So how peasants will pay the taxes? The peasants can only pay the taxes if they are happy and successful. And how they can be successful? Only if they got a proper justice and honest governance. Keeping the following additional details in mind, the author of Twarikh lives in cities, mainly Delhi, and hardly even ever in villages. They often wrote their histories from sultans in the hope of rich rewards. These authors advise rulers on the need to preserve an ideal social order based on birthright and gender distinctions. Their ideas were not shared by everyone. So what are the duties, or we can say what are the role of Twarikh? That they have to live in cities, mainly cities, in cities, not in the villages. They used to live, and they also write about histories for sultans. For what? In the hope that they will get the rewards for writing histories about sultans. And also these authors also advise the rulers for the need to preserve the ideal, means to have a good governance and gender distinctions. They advise the ruler. In 1236, Sultan Iltutmish's daughter Razia became Sultan. The chronicler of the age, Minhaj-i-Siraj, recognized that she was more able and qualified than all her brothers, but he was not comfortable at having a queen as ruler. Now were the nobles happy at her attempts to rule independently. She was removed from the throne in 2040. So what happened during the Sultan rules? Sultan rulers, what happened in the year 2036? The daughter of Iltutmish, named Razia, she became the Sultan as she was more qualified than all the brothers. So what happened? But she was removed in 2040 as no one was happy with a queen as a ruler. What Minhaj Aisiraj thought about Razia? So this is the thought of Minhaj Aisiraj about Razia. Minhaj Aisiraj thought that the queen rule went against the ideal social order created by God, in which women were supposed to be subordinate to men. He therefore asked in the register of God's creation, since her account did not fall under the column of man, how did she gain from all his